Greetings everyone and welcome to our new series, The Three Angels' Messages Made Simple. This series will be an in-depth yet understandable series focusing on the practical understandings of the three angels' messages. Now for those of you who have watched our previous series, which is called From Daniel to the Sunday Law, it has been impressed upon my heart by the Lord not only to express the movements of the powers that be in Daniel chapter 2, Daniel chapter 7, Revelation chapter 12, 13 and 17, but to also know what we need to understand and how to prepare for that time. And that's where the three angels' messages come in. For just simply knowing of these powers in Daniel and Revelation won't necessarily prepare you. I mean, don't get me wrong, the Bible does highlight that this pathway of prophecy is for our preparation. But what I mean is that it does not change the heart if it is solely based on information. Love has to be the key motivator of preparation in the last days which you are indeed living in. Love never faileth, but where there is prophecies, they shall fail. Where there be tongues, they shall cease. Whether there be knowledge, it shall vanish away. For we know in part, and we prophesy in part. But when that which is perfect is come, then that which is in part shall be done away. And so the key factor in this series, The Three Angels' Messages Made Simple, has to involve love. More so, love is to be the foundation because the Bible tells us that God is love. Now, as we head into this series, many of you may not know the term the three angels' messages. Well, it comes from the book of Revelation chapter 14, reading from verse 6. These messages affect every single person on the face of this planet, from the littlest of boys to the girls, from the richest to the poorest, from black to white, or any color for that matter, and even from a believer to a non-believer. And to express the importance of these messages, the principle of these messages can be seen in stories in the Bible which indicate certain judgments, like Noah and the flood, Daniel and the writing on the wall, the plagues in Egypt, the destruction in Jerusalem in the year 70 AD, and even the judgment of Sodom and Gomorrah. For in these accounts, which is mentioned in the Bible and proven in history, there was a message of mercy as well as a message of warning before there was an execution of judgment. This message was given to people who were defiant, disbelieving, and even people who mocked the God of the Bible. Some of the same characters that exist today are manifested in staunch atheists who haven't even studied the full account of the Bible and its validation in history, but yet go along with the popular opinions because of a newly formed peer pressure that to believe in God means to believe in fairy tales, essentially saying that it is more reasonable to believe that nothing created something than something creating something. We also have committed religious individuals who grew up in their faith without seeing if it is true in the first place, and people who are so grounded in the treasures of this world, the conveniences of life, and the worldly stimulations that they think make up life, that they see no need for God. These are the characteristics that existed in the examples mentioned in the stories of the Bible, which received a merciful message of warning which left them in complete destruction because of their disbelief. And so it is today, my friends. The three angels' messages are God's way of saying, I am coming to put sin to an end, sin and its attributes to a complete and final conclusion. It is the final message of mercy and warning. And based upon the series we have just gone through, from Daniel to the Sunday Law, the governmental powers we discussed will be Satan's counteracting attempts to make the three angels' messages worthless through the mediums which are affecting people today, as mentioned in the characteristics that existed in the past when the messages were given, that being money, disbelief, worldly stimulation, and so on. And so right now it is important to see what these messages are. And I saw another angel fly in the midst of heaven, having the everlasting gospel to preach unto them that dwell on the earth, and to every nation, and kindred, and tongue, and people, saying with a loud voice, Fear God, and give glory to him, for the hour of his judgment is come, and worship him that made heaven and earth and the sea and the fountains of waters. And there followed another angel saying, Babylon is fallen, that great city, because she made all nations drink of the wine of the wrath of her fornication. And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, If any man worship the beast and his image, and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of God, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation. And he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. And the smoke of their torment ascendeth up for ever and ever. And they have no rest day nor night, who worship the beast and his image, and whosoever receiveth the mark of his name. Here is the patience of the saints. Here are they that keep the commandments of God and the faith of Jesus. Friends, let's understand this message of mercy as well as a message of warning with the first characteristic of the three angels' messages, having the everlasting gospel.